Well, in the midst of the monster COVID surge, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka are entering into a 14-day complete lockdown starting today. Here's a ground report.
There are barricades that are placed across the city at important junctions. Police are over here. They're actually checking people who all come out, for what purpose they're coming out. After 10 o'clock, what we're told, in fact, the DGP, the DG and IGP very clearly stated on social media also that there should be absolutely no movement of vehicles outside after 10. And this is what the police will do over here. If you come out after 10, your vehicle will 100% be seized. You can come out for emergency purposes only. 2, hotels, eateries will be open, but only for takeaway. You will not be allowed to take your vehicle, either your bike or your car, to one of those places. You can walk maximum. You can use the delivery services to get all your stuff. Essential services, industries, they will be open. That is the maximum that the government has allowed. Now, what is happening is this. Karnataka is registering close to 50,000 cases on a daily basis. The deaths have also increased across the state, where we are very close to 500 on a daily basis. In order to control that and stop that and keep people safe, these are the measures that the government has brought in. So please stay home and stay safe. With video journalist Madhuwar, Nolan Pinto for India Today.
Restaurants are allowed to work, that provided in specific times they can give takeaway service. Zomato and Swiggy, like food aggregator apps, are allowed to work. However, malls and theaters are not allowed to work. Large locations, large halls are not allowed to function at all. These are the kind of restrictions that have been brought forward. Yet, unlike last lockdown, where there was a complete restriction of movements, this time it is not there. And yes, vehicles can go and fly, but with specific reason, they have to provide the reason for being on the road. Metro is completely shut as well. The Chief Minister of the state, M.K. Stalin, has made 14 districts very important because the numbers are increasing over there, and specifically appointed ministers from his cabinet to concentrate specifically on that. These 14 districts definitely include Chennai, Coimbatore, Madurai, Trichy, and various other locations as well. And specifically for Chennai, Madurai, Trichy, and Coimbatore, 2 ministers for each district has been employed to make sure special concentration is provided, and the state believes that within this 2 weeks period of lockdown, the numbers should be brought down one way or the other. With video journalist Divyan, Pramod Madhav for India Today.
Well, it's BJP versus Arvind Kejriwal government war over oxygen cylinders, which is escalating every passing day. The BJP has demanded criminal case against the Delhi government over its alleged failure in managing oxygen crisis in spite of alerts from the centre. BJP chief from Delhi, Adesh Gupta, has accused the Chief Minister of Delhi of negligent attitude in handling the situation in the national capital. He's alleged that Arvind Kejriwal government did not add a single bed, nor a ventilator or an oxygen plant in spite of several warnings he claims from the centre last December. The BJP has claimed that the Modi government had allocated funds from the PM Cares Fund to Delhi government to set up 8 oxygen plants and also arrange tankers, but no step was taken. The BJP has trained guns at Delhi Minister Imran Hussain after he was summoned by the Delhi High Court over charges of hoarding essentials, including oxygen cylinders. BJP's Amit Malviya has also hit out at the Arvind Kejriwal government and tweeted a video of the former Congress MP Sandeep Dixit, where he is heard calling for pressing murder charges against Arvind Kejriwal.
जिस तरह से दिल्ली सरकार के मंत्री और दिल्ली के आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायक ऑक्सीजन समेत कई चीजों की दवाओं की जमाखोरी कर रहे थे, ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर की कालाबाजारी जमाखोरी करते हुए जो लोग पकड़े जा रहे हैं, या जिन लोगों के ऊपर, जिनको कहते दिल्ली का निर्माता का खिताब आम आदमी पार्टी ने दिया है, ऐसे लोग जो आम आदमी पार्टी के दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री के सबसे ज्यादा करीबी और चहेते हैं, वो लोग ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर की कालाबाजारी कर रहे थे।
अरविंद केजरीवाल के ऊपर में क्रिमिनल मुकदमा कैसे दर्ज हुआ, हम उसके लिए पूरा प्रयास करेंगे। उनको तुरंत 24 घंटे के अंदर अपने विधायक और अपने मंत्री इमरान हुसैन का इस्तीफा लेना चाहिए, और जब तक उनके ऊपर में भारत सरकार को लिखना चाहिए कि इनके ऊपर सीबीआई इंक्वायरी की जाए और जब तक वो इंक्वायरी खत्म नहीं होती है और जब तक वो साफ उसमें से निकल कर नहीं आते हैं तब तक उनको मंत्री पद से बाहर रहना चाहिए.
Well, the deadly second wave of the pandemic continues to claim lives, but the only way out is by vaccinating more and more people. The drive, however, is facing many challenges owing to the shortage, and Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has said the centre is responsible for this.
Pandemic politics speaks. With the rise in cases, the blame game over the pandemic is gaining momentum as well, as the centre faces a dual attack from the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal. The Delhi CM has said that the state does not have enough doses to inoculate all its citizens under the universal vaccination drive, citing that his government wants to administer doses to all the people above 18 years of age over the next 3 months. While Deputy CM Manish Sisodia attacked the centre for exporting the jabs instead of vaccinating our citizens first.
मार्च से लेके और अब तक पूरे देश में, हमारे देश में 1 लाख मृत्यु हो चुकी है. 1 लाख लोग कोरोना का शिकार हो चुके हैं और हम 6.5 करोड़ अपने देश की बनाई हुई वैक्सीन जो इन लोगों को लग सकती थी, इनमें से कई लोगों की जान बच सकती थी, हम इस वैक्सीन को विदेशों में भेज रहे हैं. 93 देशों को हम एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. किस लिए? सिर्फ इसलिए कि केंद्र सरकार की इमेज बन सके.
Targeting centre, Didi also wrote a letter to PM Modi, seeking duty rebate on medical gear and COVID drugs. The Union Finance Minister was quick to react with a series of tweets. Nirmala Sitharaman said that there is no duty imposed on COVID drugs and medical equipment, and the removal of GST would only harm consumers in the long run since they have to bear the burden of high cost. While the blame game rages, are we the public bearing the brunt of it? Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, to make India's vaccination drive swift and smooth, the centre opened the API of the CoWIN platform for third-party applications, hoping it would help people with useful data. However, it could also be misused by the programmers. Let's take a look.
A scramble for vials running low.
हमारा 9 से 11 का स्लॉट है. हम यहाँ पे 8:45 बजे पहुँच गए, बट 9 बजे अभी स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है. क्या फायदा रहा आने का? फायदा क्या है? स्लॉटमेंट का फायदा क्या है? और यहाँ पे लोग जो है 12 से 1 बजे वाले भी लगे हुए हैं.
Gates have not opened. There is no point standing over here. Just see the social distancing. What are we supposed to do? Go back home?
आपका टाइमिंग क्या है?
I mean, this is kind of ridiculous now.
This is the official platform for booking a vaccine slot. But in order to make CoWIN more useful, the government unblocked a key software for third-party developers to access data. The exposed code is called the Application Programming Interface, or the API. Simply put, it's like a messenger that sends your request to a service provider and brings back the response. For instance, when you look for a flight on a travel site, you are using APIs to access airline databases for information you want in real time.
The Application Programming Interface, or the API, is a protocol that allows two applications to communicate. APIs are often made public so that third-party developers could come up with solutions that enhance the experience of the main application. But in the case of CoWIN, it is now turning out to be a double-edged sword.
In the cases of CoWIN, developers are using the API to help people get automated notifications on availability of vaccination slots. With this technology, they don't have to manually log in to look for vacancies, often multiple times a day, in the overcrowded online space. This digital platform, Labnol, has created one such solution.
What we have done is, using these public APIs, we've built up a spreadsheet where anybody can put in their PIN code and they can put in their email address. And what the spreadsheet does, it keeps connecting to this API, say every 1 hour, every 2 hours, depending on the data that the user has set. And it checks the availability of vaccines. in case the vaccines are available for booking, say tomorrow or day after tomorrow or in future date, that spreadsheet will send an email alert to the users.
But some are worried programmers may use the technology to completely automate the registration process. And if that happens, a large non-tech savvy population may miss out on the vaccination bookings, which the tech savvy folks might secure through APIs.
Now, how some people may have misused this, they may have created something called RPA, robotic process automation, a normal script running. So every time they figure out that there is a slot availability, what that script will do is it will automatically open the CoWIN platform, it will register the user, it will wait for an SMS OTP which will come to that registered mobile phone number, and then subsequently read it from the mobile phone, assuming there's an application on the mobile phone, and populate it. This is not, this is basically a bot automating human behavior.
The government, however, downplays the risk of mass automation. Officials say programmers may have used the APIs to receive information faster, but rule out their unlawful use for mass registrations. According to the government, the technology limits API calls and sets apart manual and automated requests by 30 minutes to ensure level playing.
The first change where they are limiting the number of API calls per IP address, that's a very welcome change, because obviously somebody would not be able to build a mass solution, rent a server and then run these mass automations from, because obviously that would not be possible. Second is by caching the data and by delaying the serving of data by 30 minutes, obviously what you are getting, what alerts you are getting may not be real time.
But in a country with a vast digital divide, concerns are being raised over vaccine equity during a deadly pandemic.
So there is definitely an ethical concern, Ankit, because you are right. Somebody who is writing a script to automate the entire behavior, he definitely has an edge on somebody who is trying to do the entire process manually.
Experts suggest both the government and the private sector should collaborate on a bigger scale to make the technology accessible to the masses.
This virus affects everyone, and whatever we are building definitely should be able to reach the masses. But at the same time, one of the recent developments, very positive development, is Paytm, which is a very, very big company. They have also added this feature in their app itself, which I'm sure is used by several crores of people. So this is when such big companies take the initiative to incorporate such functionality in their app itself, it will definitely reach the masses.
Bridging the technology divide is going to be a key element in the fight against COVID. With Sneha Murdani in New Delhi, this is Ankit Kumar for India Today.